Why, it appears some firewood has fallen on my path. How nice of it. Just fell off of its root ball, I guess. Thank you, great crabapple in the sky. Thank you. So we can see they've been working on it. So what I'm doing is I'm adding sugar through the screen. I'm sure they don't necessarily appreciate me burying them in sugar. But we'll try to build up the level of sugar in here. And then to help gel things, we're just going to carefully pour in a little sugar water. There's probably enough moisture in here to begin with, but that'll help cause it to form a block, which will be easier for them to deal with. But I was surprised even after 24 hours just how they went at these sugar cakes, and it's supposed to be very cold this week, so this seems to be a really good time to do this.
With the candy boards in place, there was really only one thing left to do. Well, two things left to do, but I'll get back to that in a moment or two. We had our burlap boxes on, and it was time to put the burlap in the boxes. Some people use wood chips or other ingredients. I like the burlap because of the fact that every now and then you can take a peek at it, and if it's wet, you just lift it out of there and replace it with new dry burlap. So we have a local coffee roaster, and obviously they get hundreds of 50-pound bags of coffee beans, and they really don't have anything to do with the burlap, once they've emptied the coffee out and put it in the roaster. So I've worked out a little bit of a deal. They don't really charge me anything. They just donate the bags. And if you have a roaster, and they're all over the country, these small, mom and pop operations, it's a good surplus burlap place. You just go there and, load up as many bags as you want, and they probably won't care. Give them a call. But I found out last winter that these bags were just very effective at absorbing the moisture in the hives. So we want a little moisture in there. It's a fallacy to think that you don't want any moisture in a hive, but obviously you don't want a large accumulation that's pouring down on the cluster of bees in the middle of the winter. That can kill them. So burlap it is. With the winter months upon us, the frequency of my videos is going to drop off quite a bit. Obviously there's not too much beekeeping you do in the winter other than an occasional check. So in some ways, this puts the channel slightly to bed, although last winter we did manage to come up with a lot of little themes to throw in there in the meantime. There are a couple of other things I do have to do to the hive. Last year I put insulation on the hives around Thanksgiving, and I really felt that was too early. The December wasn't anywhere near as cold as I thought it was going to be, and the result was that the bees were very active and therefore eating through their stores. When the bees cluster, their food intake goes down quite a bit. Obviously, you get, the colder it gets, it'll start picking up again, but there's a sweet spot there around, 30 some degrees where they don't really consume too much. So you don't want to keep the hive too hot or they'll be eating all winter. Another thing I have to do is make up some screens to go on the fronts of the hives over, the entrance reducer, and that's basically to keep field mice out. they're fairly reduced right now, so I don't want to put the screen directly on the entrance because a few dead bees might block off the entrance. So I want to make little boxes up, little metal cages, and put them over there, which are big enough for the bees to get in and out on a cleansing flight, but not too big that a mouse will get in. But, you know, I'll cover that when I do that. I must admit, it is nice to take one last look at the little girls and see them in there working on the sugar block, and sit there and kind of put them to bed, lay a little blanket over them, you know, hope that they'll stay warm enough and cool enough to make it through the winter just fine, and hope that, you know, I've given them enough food so that they'll be happy, and hopefully our queens are strong enough so that come spring they start building up and we haven't lost a hive due to depopulation or starvation. Yes, good night, little bees. Sleep tight inside your little box, and I am hoping for a nice mellow winter, but you just never know what you're going to get up here in Pennsylvania. So
Yeah, it's cold. I wouldn't come out either.
till next time, from Buzz Park, good day.